My gut tells me that I should turn down a job that offers a 200% salary increase. How about that? Am I crazy? Maybe, maybe not. Let's find out. Howdy, Fi Guys. Howdy. I need your help because I feel like I'm standing at a life-altering crossroads and I genuinely don't know which path to take. Right now, I make about $100,000 a year. It's not flashy, but it's solid. More than enough to live comfortably where I am. My lifestyle is relaxed. No debt. I have a job that respects my time. That is so important. I work from home a couple days a week, and my commute is a breeze, and overtime is rare. Honestly, it's been a blessing. I've been a peaceful, slower pace of life kind of guy, surrounded by my family and friends, and I'm content. That's awesome. But then, out of nowhere, this shiny new offer lands in my lap. A job that is in the tech industry, and it's in the heart of the Bay Area. The salary, a jaw-dropping 3x what I make now. 3 times. Plus, it's a promotion. On paper, it feels like an obvious yes. It feels like the kind of offer you'd be crazy to turn down. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. It's 5 days a week in the office, and I know the game. I've been in the fast-paced tech startups before. When I was younger, I didn't think twice about 12-hour days, late-night Slack messages, weekend emergencies, and the constant pressure to be on. But it nearly burned me to the ground. Back then, I had the stamina for the grind. Now, I'm not so sure. I've tasted balance, and it's hard to imagine giving that up. What's worse, this move would pull me away from my entire support system, my family, my closest friends, my community. I keep picturing myself alone in some overpriced Bay Area apartment, glued to my laptop, eating takeout, wondering if all this money is really worth the loneliness and stress. My gut, my heart, screaming, stay. Stay for the balance, stay for the mental health, stay for your people. But my head won't let it go. It keeps whispering, how can you say no to this kind of money? It feels so irresponsible, like I'd be throwing away an opportunity that could change my financial future forever. So, here I am, stuck between fear and the fear of missing out, between comfort and ambition. What would you do? How do you balance peace of mind against the pull of a massive opportunity? I could really use your perspective before making what feels like one of the biggest financial decisions of my life. Sincerely, chase the cash and feel the crash, or keep the peace and let it last. Wow. How about that? The crossroads of destiny. Can you put a price on your peace? That is the underlying question for today's viewer mailbag. Chris, you're the guy for this one. You are the guy for this one.
Before I get into it from me, though, what do you think on this one, Dominic? If you had this opportunity in your stage of life, what would you be doing?
Man, as someone who's not making 100,000, right? And as someone who's not making 300,000, and someone who is young, and I can maybe take those 12-hour days, I don't love it. I don't love it. I think for this person, he was burnt out as a young person doing this, and now he's having to sacrifice a lot of things to jump back into arena. I don't think it's worth it. I think that you can be financially smart and savvy other places. Excuse me. I think this is tough. In my heart, I wouldn't take the job, as tempting as it would be. But there's so many undefined factors, like what are you doing now Could you come back to the job that you're doing now in, say, a year or 2 years, right? Maybe that could be an opportunity. Maybe you grind for a year or two at this new position, and then you maybe return to something a little bit more peaceful. I never like the idea of sacrificing your peace over an extended period of time without a clear goal in mind. I think if you have a strong why, you can bear any how, but there's not a strong why here. It's just money, right? And the sacrifice is your entire, I don't want to say life, but like your entire ecosystem of what you call a life. I mean, there's just so many factors that you just don't know that plays into a decision like this. Like, does the husband or wife work, right? How many kids? Like, what are we talking about here? It's hard to make a decision without all the information. But with the information that you do have, if it's me, and this is just personally for me, I probably wouldn't take it. But that's because I have things that I do outside of work that take my time, and I really enjoy that they take my time. I enjoy doing them. They're passion projects, right? But I guess it all depends on what you're looking for in life. Are you looking for more money, or are you looking for more life?
I just think that's a really good way of putting it. Are you looking for more money or looking for more life? And that's the hard part, right? That's the reason that we really can't give a definitive answer on what this person should do, because we don't know all of the factors. But I know what if this person was to go to most financial professionals, most people just on the internet, what should I do if I have the chance to make more money? Everyone puts making money as the highest order. That's the most important thing, is making more money. And for you to even consider not taking this job, that would be 3 times more. You're stupid. But there's so many things that we need to factor in. So first of all, I want to thank our reader for writing in. And I understand this tension you have between your gut and your head. Gut saying, stay. Head saying, you should probably go. And I understand where it comes out from this fear of the burnout, the loneliness, the lifestyle shift of leaving everything that you know. And I'm glad that you have the self-awareness to be able to realize that this is what would happen. Sun Tzu once said, know thyself. And it sounds like you actually know yourself, and you're not just putting money as the most important thing. I also have a lot of empathy for this person, that they have the fear of losing their current peace and a fear of missing out for something that could be or not be. It's really hard because the future is undetermined. Decide whatever way you decide to go, you're going to lose out on something, but you're also going to gain something. So it all depends on how you want to go about looking at that. But maybe there's some things we can talk about to maybe help you analyze the financial upside of everything, and maybe even the financial downside. So what I need you to first do is you need to break down what 3 times salary really means when you have put in taxes of living in the Bay Area in California and the high cost of living in the Bay Area. You didn't put anywhere inside the letter as to where you currently are. For all I know, you're in Austin, Texas, you're in Alabama, you're somewhere else where the taxes are substantially lower. And if that's the case, you have to factor that in. Even if the salary is increased by 3 times, but your mortgage or your rent increases by 2 times, and then you also have this taxes that go up, and you have to eat out a lot more often and all this other stuff. You have to move your family. All of these things factor in. So you have to balance all that out to say, is 3 times really worth it? You also need to look at the short-term versus the long-term benefits. What's going to get you to where you want to go? What's going to build the life that you want? Is this new job in the Bay Area what you want? Because it sounds like, to me, just based off your letter, that what you have right now is what you want for your long term. If we were to take the money out of the equation, you're doing your job or this job, you have to choose one of the jobs and money wasn't the main thing, what would you do? Because too many people, they put money as the only thing that matters, when in truth, it's only one of the things that matters. It's one factor on it. A very large factor, a very important factor, yes, but only one factor. So if you were to move to this other job, would that help you potentially build more wealth, to build more investments, to get on the path to financial independence faster? Or would it set you back because you're now going to be in a higher cost of living area? You're going to be under more stress. And when you're under more stress, what did you do the first time? I'm sure you drank more, you ate more food that you shouldn't have, your lifestyle inflated a lot. And it sounds like you know that. You wrote about it inside your letter. So now that you know that, is it going to be worth putting yourself into that fire again? I don't know if you have family, if you have kids. But if you have kids, 12-hour days glued to your laptop is not going to be very sustainable. Or if it is, you're going to be missing out on some important moments that I'm not sure if you're willing to do that for. So just don't put money as the most important thing. Because if you do have kids, kids want your presence in terms of you being available and not presence, not you just giving them shit. They want you to be there for them. What do you think, Dominic, before I continue?
Oh, man. That hit home. That hit home, I couldn't agree more. There's nothing quite like playing a game of catch with your dad or helping your mom cook a meal. There's not much that can replace that, right? I think this is why I feel it's so important to have a vision for what you want your life to be. And this person seems very successful. He's got a great job. He's got a great family, and he's got a great opportunity on the horizon. And things have gone well for him, but I think he just lacks a little bit of vision. I don't see it as a very difficult question if you have your vision on what you want for your life written out and envisioned, right? For me, I want a nice, beautiful home, peaceful in the woods. Maybe not too deep in the woods, right? But family, loved ones, stuff like that. Very calm, slow pace of life. It's what I long for. And if I got an offer to do this, right? Well, how would that affect that vision? Would it get me closer or would it get me further? And, would I be lying to myself one way or the other if I took it or not? I think it's just all about, does this serve your vision for what you want the next 5 years, 10 years to be, right? I don't know how old your kids are. Maybe they're teenagers and they don't want to spend time with you anymore. And you're just like, you know what? They don't need me as much, so maybe I'll go back to the grind. Or maybe they're toddlers and they're just like annoying. And you're like, I don't want to be around them anymore, which is terrible. It's pretty terrible. But I don't know. How much do you think vision plays into a decision like this, Chris?
I think it's really important because you need to assess the trajectory of both jobs and what this lifestyle is going to do for you. Is this new job going to open up new doors, or is it going to be a golden cage that you're going to lock yourself in? And that's the hardest thing. So you need to know what it is what are your values? What's most important to you? I know what the internet's going to say. The internet's going to say money is the highest value. And that's not the way that we want to look at things. Money is just a tool to live your best life. Money is not the goal. Money facilitates the goal. And if you're putting money at the highest thing, that money is the most important thing, and you're willing to sacrifice everything else for that, that's not really much of a life in my estimation. Money is very important. I'm not going to say that it isn't important, but it's not the most important thing over all other things. So you need to look over that and say, what is this move going to mean for me, for my family, for my job trajectory, for my life? Because you need to reflect on what you truly value. Is it peace, balance, ambition, or is it financial gain? And there isn't a right or a wrong answer there. I know that most people are going to tell you, if you ask for them, like 8 out of 10 people are probably going to say financial gain is the most important thing. But it sounds like you're actually doing pretty well. It sounds like at this time in your life, peace and balance are the most important things for you. But I can't answer that. I'm just going based off of what you wrote in the letter. And I know for me, that's where I am too. So I hope this helps to clarify that the job aligns with your long-term goals and your lifestyle desires. Because the money is important. The money is very, very important. But it also sounds like you don't need that. So before you turn down the job, before you take the job, you can always ask, you can always negotiate for more flexibility from work. Is that possible before you go ahead and do that? Can you delay the decision and seek some local growth opportunities? See if there's another way for you to make money where you are. Could you test out the Bay Area temporarily? Hey, I'm going to move out there for a few months because it sounds like right now your current job is remote. Can you move to the Bay Area, rent an Airbnb, rent a long-term place for a couple of months, do your current job from there and see if you like it? See if you like being away from your family, from the community, from all the things that you've built wherever you are now. I think that could be a good way to test this before we go jump all the way in. Because moving across the country or moving wherever you are to the Bay Area, that's one of those, you move through that door, and of course you can walk back to the other door, but it's going to be a lot harder to go through that door that you already walked through. So the biggest thing, and I just want to give you reassurance, there is no wrong choice. Either path has benefits and either path has trade-offs. They're both going to have something that you're going to win and something you're going to lose. It is okay for you to fear the regret of the uncertainty. That's completely normal. Everything that you're feeling is normal. And I think the biggest thing is whatever choice you decide to go with, you have the ability in the future to course correct. Regardless of what way you go, you can always change it. Too many people, we think in black and white. If I do this, I have to stay committed to it for the rest of my life. And that's not the way things often work. You have the ability to try it. If you don't like it, go back, or to not try it and then go for it again in the future. That same opportunity might not be available, the same location, whatever. Life doesn't always work the way that we want it to go, but we just have to kind of live with the best that we possibly can. So assess your values, the fear, the uncertainty, everything that you're going through is completely normal. You got this. Make the best decision that you can for yourself where you are right now. And if you need to, you can always reach out to me, chris@monzonwealth.com, and we could talk through it in person. That way I'm not just talking at you without knowing any of the information besides what you put into this letter.
100%. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, so feel free to reach out to Chris, monzonwealth.com. With that being said, we hope that helps you. I hope that we at least made you think about something that maybe you haven't thought about. But what do you guys think he should do in the comments down below?
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.